Hi, my name's Andy. Welcome to Rally. I don't know if you've heard of this character in some of the Marvel films, Peter Quill, or he likes to be known as Star Wars. He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy film. And he still has one main thing from his home planet of Earth. He's got this little Sony Walkman cassette player. And in this player, he's got this one tape. It's a mixtape of music that was put together by his mum. And several times in the film, we see Quill, he's listening, he puts on his headphones, and he's listening to this music from his childhood. His mother died of cancer, and this is his last real memory of her, of all he left behind, of home. We all kind of know this feeling a bit, I think, don't we? Maybe you're out in a shop somewhere or on TV, you hear this music and you're like, yeah, I love this song. And you start maybe dancing around to it or singing along to it. And it brings back all these memories. It makes you feel as if you wish you could just go back to that time. And we've all got those memories, haven't we, of great holidays with friends or family, or maybe Transform Camp that you really loved, that time when you're just there hanging out with people. But we know, don't we, even if we could go back to those locations, it just wouldn't be the same. No, I think we've got this longing for something. I remember coming back on this train from Cornwall. I've been on this sort of beach mission trip, met these new friends, and we'd had this amazing week, which I just wish could go on and on. But then I'd also been missing home, my friends and my family there. I was longing to be on beach mission for longer, but I was longing to be back with my friends and family at home. But actually I was longing for something that was better than either of those things. I had this sort of gut-wrenching, deep desire for this place I didn't know, to be with these people, to be with this family. The Bible calls it's like a longing for home. In fact, the whole Bible story is about this. Two people left their true home. They chose to abandon their father God, so they had to leave their real home. And since then, we've all been what the Bible calls exiles, refugees, people who aren't at home. It's where that longing that I had on that train, and that we often have, really comes from. Deep down inside, no matter how good the time is we're having, we know that we've got that nagging feeling it's going to come to an end. It won't last. No, we've got a longing for a forever home. In fact, the Bible describes it in Ecclesiastes like this: He has also set eternity in the human heart. Or Romans puts it like this: for creation waits eagerly, expectation. Or we groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption, our home, our family. Back to our story. You know that story we've been talking about the last few weeks? The son, the lost son who's gone away from his father. He said to his dad, Dad, I want your stuff, but I don't want you. I want your stuff, but I don't want you. And then we saw last week where that ended him up. Longing for food, starving. And finally he's turned back. He was heading this way away from his father, and now he's turned back towards home. But the question is left hanging in the air. Can he get back? Can he go home? So there he is. Everything's more familiar now as he's walking up the path to his house. He's just seen the village streets that he used to play with his mates in. He's just gone past that big tree he used to climb as a lad. And then he remembers. You see, he's muttering these lines to himself over and over again in his head. I'm not worthy to be called your son. Please take me back as your servant. I'm not worthy to be called your son. Please take me back as your servant. And there as he peeks up in the distance, he sees his father begin to head towards him. He can't look up. He's so ashamed. His head is down. He knows he's done wrong. What will his dad do? And I just want to pause a minute here because I think too quickly we let this son off. Too quickly we're feeling sorry for him. You see, the father has every right to be angry. He should be angry. Everyone has suffered because of this son. Everyone has lost half of what they had before. His wife, any other kids he had, other servants, everyone's had to cut back. It's a bit like this. If your parents had gone without stuff, if they'd not had that nice car they wanted, if they've not gone on that nice holiday, if they've not gone on as many date nights themselves, if they've not bought the clothes that they really wanted to get, if they've had to cut back to save up for you so that maybe one day that you could go to uni and get this degree so you'd be set up for life. And then they get all that money together that they've been saving, they hand it to you and they say, go on, go off to uni. And I know it doesn't work like this, but imagine you went off and instead of enrolling on the course, you go off and you just live somewhere else for 3 years. And you get this car, but it's a bit of a wreck because you don't know what you're doing. And you buy these clothes, they're really nice, but you don't know how to wash them, you don't look after them, and so in a few months they're ruined. And then you get tempted, you want to get some more money, so you go gambling on the football. And soon all the money's gone. Now the dad in our story has every right to be harsh with his son. In fact, according to Old Testament law, and remember that group, the two groups, the sinners and the Pharisees at the beginning, they'll be listening up at this point. What's the dad going to do? We know Old Testament law. He could kill his son. According to Old Testament law. At very least, the dad should say to his son, no, you chose not to be part of our family. Now you're not part of our family. You didn't want to know me. No, I don't want to know you. You've wasted our family inheritance. I don't want you back. You come to ruin us again. No, instead of a mob marching to beat the son, he hears the pounding of his father's feet running towards him. Instead of looking up and seeing his dad's arms folded in anger, he sees them wide open with a joyous smile on his face. His dad is running towards his son. Every day after school, usually my kids come out to meet me in the playground. They run towards me with big, wide open arms. And I open up my arms and we have a great big hug. We've missed each other. Now I'm sure that will go away and I want to miss it. But right now I look forward to that time. The Bible puts it like this. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. Do you see this welcome home? Maybe you've come to see yourself for who you truly are. Living in God's world, enjoying God's stuff, but saying, no thanks, God, I don't know you. Wishing effectively like, God, was dead. Maybe you've seen that you have messed up. Yeah, things have been done wrong to you, but you've done the wrong things too. Deep down, you see that your heart is toxic. You can think awful thoughts. You can be filled with selfish anger. You can spurt out hurtful words. You feel guilty because you are guilty. And maybe this has stopped you coming back to God. Let me say this to you today. This picture here, this picture of the Father with arms open wide, with a joyous smile on his face, is how God welcomes people who turn back to him. When a sinner turns back to God, he is met, or she is met, with arms wide open. But maybe you're asking, well, what is this really? Is he really welcoming his son? The son said to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe, put it on him, put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Do you see this? It's over the top. It's full on. You know when you've had someone make a big fuss of you and you're like, okay, I'm done. Maybe it's a parent or a friend. They make a really big deal of you. And you tell them to get lost, okay, enough. But deep down, you really enjoy it. That's this. It's like a once-in-a-decade feast. The father puts on like an 18th or 21st birthday meal. No expense is spared. They're going to feast tonight. And is the son really welcome? We'll see that in the ring and the robes. Rings. The son can't even get his words out. Do you see? The dad's not talking to him. He's still hugging him. And he says to his servants, bring the ring. We've got these wedding rings, haven't we? Here's mine. They're generally pretty expensive because we want them to last a long time. And they're a symbol of our family ties, aren't they? Well, their rings were like that, but they were authority-based too. It was like handing the son back a credit card. The son who's just wasted all this money, he gets the family credit card as soon as he's back. He's trusted again. And he wasn't just welcome, he's part of the family. He's dressed in clothes that are fitting with his family. Get rid of those clothes that you were feeding pigs with. Besides, they're pretty smelly. They stink. Do you see this? It's a picture of, it's Jesus' picture of what his father is about. Well, did it cost the father in the story anything to welcome him back? Of course, he's killing this fattened calf. He's given the son his credit card. He's already given away half of his inheritance. It's a massive cost. It's not free for the Father, and it's not free for Father God either. No, to God, his Son gave up his life. He left his home to come and find us. He took on our stinking sin so we could be welcomed back into his family. We see this all the time. In fact, There's 3 stories in this chapter alone that end in a party. Jesus is always having meals with sinners. Levi, the stinking tax collector. Simon the leper, Mary the prostitute, Zacchaeus the greedy thief. He eats with these people, he parties with them. These people are welcome back in his family. In fact, the whole Bible ends with a meal. The supper, the wedding supper of the Lamb, a big family party, friends, young people. I'm welcome. Somehow I'm welcome. I'm not saying this to you. You guys are just we're all sinners. But I'm welcome to this feast. You are invited. You are welcome. No matter what you've done, no matter how ashamed you feel, no matter where you've been, no matter what friends you've had, if you come back to God, if you come back and you've realised you've messed up, you realise you're a sinner, you're sorry, his arms are wide open. And he's saying to you, welcome back into the family. He's saying to you today, welcome home. Guys, I hope you have a great week. Bye.